All right, guys, here we go. This is another video on systems of equations from the ACT. Let's see how systems of equations show up on the ACT. And honestly, it shows up every single test, so you need to be good at it always. Let's try. Number 33 says, a high school sells student tickets for a band concert for $2 each and non-student tickets for $4 each. How many student tickets did the high school sell if the high school sold 220 tickets worth a total of 640 tickets? Well, there's actually two ways to do these questions. Typically, it doesn't always work, but for a lot of the questions, you can do this two different ways. One way is just trying answer choices. Let's try 110. If 110 is the number of student tickets, and each student ticket is $2, what's 110 times 2? That's $220. Now, $220 taken away from 640 is $420. Well, if 110 student tickets were sold, then how many non-student tickets were sold? Remember, there were 220 tickets sold in total. Well, there must have been 110 non-student tickets. I'll call it N. At which point, 110 times 4 is 440. Does that match up? Really, 440 plus 220 is 660. It doesn't match up to the 640 that we had. I don't think it's 110. Notice also this was 660. If that's too expensive, that's too much money, then should they have sold more or less student tickets, the cheap ones? Or if you want to think about it from the expensive point of view, should they have sold more or less non-student tickets? In other words, should I be going up or should I be going down from 110? Well, I think we should have sold more student tickets because that's the cheaper one. In that case, let's try 120. 120 times 2 is 240. And then if 120 student tickets were sold, then how many non-student tickets were sold? 100 times 4, that's 400. And added together, that does get you 640. That is your correct answer. It's B. Now, that's obviously not the technical way of doing this question, but using the answer choices is a smart way. If that didn't make sense, please pause the video and go backwards and watch that one more time, because that way works all the time. But I'll show you the real way. The real way of doing this question is setting a system of equations. Really, something like this. We have student tickets plus non-student tickets equals 220. In other words, the number of student tickets plus the number of non-student tickets equals 220. Whereas, let's now do the cost equation. That's going to be 2s plus 4n equals 640. Again, this is your quantity equation, and this is your cost equation. At which point I have a system of equations. Really, I have 1 and 2 equations. Again, 2 equations and 2 variables. You can always solve this. From here, you should think of 2 words, either substitution or elimination, to solve these. And I always prefer elimination. For me, if I'm trying to solve for S, if I'm trying to find how many student tickets, who should I eliminate? Well, let's eliminate off the ends. So watch this. I'm going to multiply this top equation by 4. Thus, I have 4s plus 4n equals 880. And right below that, we have 2s plus 4n equals 640. At which point you should understand that we can subtract straight down and eliminate the ends. At which point you should see that we have 2s equals, what is that? 240. S is equal to 120. Done. The answer is B. Please comment down below if you have any questions on that. But I want to keep moving for now. That was number 33. Let's do this question that's very similar as well. I'll give you guys a second to pause the video here and try this question. Let's see how smart you are. But for those of us that just want to watch along, go ahead. Let's read. It says, this month, Kami sold 70 figurines in two sizes. Wait a second. There's the large and the small equals 70. Again, that's your quantity equation. From there it says, the large figurines sold for $12 each, and the small figurines sold for $8 each. The amount of money he received from the sale of the large figurines was equal to the amount of money he received from the sales of the small figurines. Again, wait a second. The amount of money he received from the sales of the large was equal to the amount of money he received from the small. That's really important. What that means is, 12L equals 8S. This is your cost equation in this case. I understand that, $12 per large equals $8 per small. And those amounts of money, really, this amount of money should equal that amount of money. That makes sense. At that point, it's asking, how many large figurines did Kami sell this month? Well, let's try to find L. If I'm trying to find L, let's get the S alone. I have 12L over 8 equals S, better known as 1.5 L equals S. Now what? Well, now I'm going to take this and substitute. Remember elimination and substitution? I'm going to substitute this back in for S in the other equation. So I have L plus 1.5 L equals 70. Really, 2.5 L equals 70. In order to finish off this question, we're going to divide both sides by 2.5. And you should have L equals 28. The answer is B. So that's pretty cool there. Again, that's the more technical way of doing this question. Could you have tried answer choices like I did in the first question? I think you could have. I think it could have worked. But this is the real way of doing it. Let's keep going. Last question of the day is up here. This is a 35. Well, again, I see that this is a system of equations. You can kind of just tell by looking right here. And what's nice about this is it says, what is the value of x? If you're trying to find the value of x, what do you have to do with the y's? Eliminate off the y's, or I always say kill off the y's. So what I notice is that this is already so nicely lined up for you. Because if I just add straight down, what happens to those y's? They cancel, they eliminate. So I have 4x equals 2a plus 2b. Getting the x alone, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. I end up with x equals a plus b over 2. Really, canceling out a 2 from everything, the answer is A. If you have any questions on that, please comment down below. If not, I'll zoom out so you can see all 3 questions, and I'll close out the video there. If this video helped you towards this next ACT, please leave me a like, share, or a subscribe, and I will see you guys soon.